Welcome to Entirely Kids Looking for Light at the Des Moines Art Center. My name is Mia Boo. I'm the museum educator, and I'm going to be joining you today on your journey through the museum, looking at art, looking for light, exploring the works of Judith Schaechter and her exhibition Path to Paradise. I'm so excited to learn and look and explore with you today. It's going to be an amazing adventure. Parents, I want you to know that this program today is the perfect introduction to Judith Schaechter's exhibition for your children and families and little ones. Keep in mind, her exhibition in the galleries does contain mature content, so we want you to check her work out online before bringing your small kids into the galleries. So are you ready to learn about Judith Schaechter and her incredible stained glass art? Are you ready to learn about how light is incorporated in different kinds of artwork and to look at artwork together? Are you ready to make your own art activity? Or to hear different perspectives from different special guests joining us today about how they interpret art and what they think light means? I am so excited for you to be here right now. And we've got a special guest already. Laura Burkhalter, curator at the Des Moines Art Center, is joining us to answer a couple questions that I have about Judith Schaechter. Hello, Laura. Thanks so much for joining us today. So everyone, Laura here is the curator at the Des Moines Art Center, and her team chose to bring Judith Schaechter's exhibition to our museum from the Memorial Art Gallery in Rochester, New York. So Laura, I brought you here because I have a few things that I'm curious about that I was hoping you could help us out with.
Absolutely. I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Thanks so much for being here. So first of all, I want to know, who is Judith Schaechter?
Judith Schaechter is a contemporary artist who works in stained glass. She's somebody who is kind of a unique figure in contemporary art because stained glass is not a common medium. So I have been aware of her work for over 10 years. It's so unique, but also her subject matter is unique, and the way she takes on different issues of our time and combines stained glass with painting and other techniques. She's really somebody whose work stands out. I just couldn't be more pleased to have her work here.
Thank you. That's awesome. I'm curious too. So some of our viewers are going to be very young and they might be wondering about a curator. And I think a curator in some ways is sort of like an artist because they get to pick out the things that people see in the museum. So why did you, as a curator, pick Judith Schaechter as an artist that you'd like people to see?
I always want there to be a big variety of things that people can see. I want there to be not just painting and sculpture, but different kinds of painting, different kinds of sculpture. I want to show the wide range of what kind of art is being made right now. So when there's somebody like Judith who makes something out of a material that almost nobody else is using, that's automatically a good candidate. Like of course it's beautiful and it's colorful and we all like things that light up. But she has an important message with her work too. So it kind of checks off all those things I'm looking for when I'm picking an artist for the galleries.
Thank you. So the last question, I'm curious. So our program today is called Looking for Light. And I was wondering, what does the word light mean to you when you think of Judith's art?
I think it's almost like a tool to me I think when I first think of her art, I think of glass, but glass is something that is, her glass is very colorful and that color isn't really activated unless you put light through it, which her works have a light in the back. They're light boxes. So there's light, it's put in a frame and light bulbs are installed behind it. But, that's the technical answer, but, we do react to beautiful light colors. If we have other works in the museum that use colored light bulbs and people want to walk right to them and they want to stand in the color. And I think Judith's work kind of has that effect. Like you want to be in the glow of all those colors. You want to get up close and see all of her images. So, and I think she knows that as an artist. I think she knows how attracted humans are to light, and artists find weird things to use as tools besides just art materials. So I think of light as being like kind of a secret weapon in Judith's art.
Thank you so much, Laura, and thanks for answering some of our questions and giving us a little bit more background about the wonderful exhibition we've got going on right now.
Thank you for having me.
I cut the glass in a very old-fashioned way. I use a little steel wheel cutter that makes a score in the glass, and this agitates the atoms, and then you can crack the glass apart. I further shape the glass on a grinder. It's a router type grinder. And then once the glass is cut to the appropriate shape, I think about sandblasting it. The sandblasting process for me started out as a very important aspect of the design. But now that I'm into engraving, I just use it to prepare the surface. So I sandblast the glass, and that roughs it up a little bit, makes it look a little frosty and cloudy. Once that has taken place, I bring the glass upstairs and I start to think about engraving it. I should say at this point that I am using a type of hand-blown glass known as flash glass. Flash glass is characterized by having a very thin veneer of bright color. It's made as a bubble in a hot shop, the way they make any type of hot glass, and it's basically a giant bubble that they smooth out into a sheet. But it has this layer of color on it, and that can be removed. I draw a pattern on it with a magic marker, a permanent marker, and then I go into the glass with tools that are engraving tools. They would remind most people of dentist drills, especially in how they sound. And they make lines. All these techniques have been around forever, but what I do that's different is I do all of them all at once, always.
So now that you've met Judith and seen her making art, I bet you're really curious about what her artwork looks like that's on view in the Des Moines Art Center in our galleries. Well, I brought a couple friends with me today, and we're gonna go explore it together. I'd love for you to come along. Follow me. What do you see? What do you see when you look at this?
I see berries.
Berries?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I see flowers and a girl.
You see flowers and a girl. Are there a lot of flowers?
Yep. There are a lot of flowers.
What else do we see?
I see black and red on her shirt and on her pants and on her shoes and in her hair.
So she's got black and red on her hair and on her dress and her shoes.
I think she's making well, from the lips, I think it looks like a smile a little bit.
So it looks like she might be smiling a little bit. What about what she's doing with her hand?
She's bending it.
Yeah, you notice she's bending her hand.
A little bit.
Her hand's bending a little bit. What do you think it's made out of?
It's made out of glass.
It's made out of glass. The whole thing is made out of glass.
Yes. It's made out of glass.
You guys ready to go look at some more pieces of art?
Yeah!
Follow me.
I see some rabbits.
You see rabbits? What else do you see?
I see a big balloon of a rabbit. And animals, I think.
Animals.
I see lots of animals. Oh, and I see a lizard right back by the kitty, and
What color is the lizard?
it's green orange. It's green and orange.
Green and orange.
Right back there.
Oh yeah, what do you think is going on in this piece of art?
They're having a parade or a circus.
A parade or a circus? What makes us think that there's a parade or a circus going on?
I think there's a circus because there's a circus thing and there's a bunch of circuses.
What kind of circus thing?
That.
How would you describe it?
I would describe that there's clowns and lots of different other circus stuff, like the circus car and all the circus animals.
Awesome, so you see clowns, a circus car, circus animals. And then Wilhelmina, what makes you think that it might be a parade too?
Because
You don't know why? What are all these figures doing? How are they standing?
Well, it's probably like, maybe like sometimes that people like hold the puppets up so like that makes like they're walking. So they probably have sticks in them.
Oh yeah, so it looks like they're holding up these big puppets with sticks maybe? Like a parade? Well, I think that it might look like a parade is because it looks like they're all going in the same direction. Can you tell?
Yeah.
That they're all looking the same way? What else do you guys notice about this piece of art? I like that you pointed out that big bunny balloon because I never noticed that before. Emily, can you see the big bunny?
Yeah. I don't think this is a parade.
Yeah, well, you know, it might be both. It might be a parade
Circus?
of a circus. Like maybe they're bringing the circus to town. Do you guys, what's your favorite thing that you notice in this? What's your favorite little detail that you can find?
I can find the lizard and I like lizards.
So you found the lizard and you like lizards. What else? Emily, what's your favorite thing that you can find in this?
All the animals and the balloons.
The animals in the balloon. Do you guys think that this is a fun piece of art? Because we were talking about how birthday parties are fun and parades and circuses.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
I never saw a circus.
You've never seen a circus?
No, I'm not sure.
Does this piece of art make you want to see a circus?
Yeah. So I've only seen one or two.
You've only seen one or two circuses? But maybe that's one reason why Wilhelmina saw a parade and you saw a circus, because she's never seen a circus before.
I've never parade.
Yeah, and Wilhelmina's seen a parade.
I've seen both.
And you've seen both. So sometimes we notice things in art that we've seen before. And when we've never seen something, then we're surprised by it. What do we see in this piece of art?
Oh, animal things?
Weird animal things. Can you describe them?
Well, this one kind of looks like a clown, maybe? Oh, and this looks like a bear. It's pink.
So we see a bear in the pink one.
Yeah.
What other things can you describe?
I see a slug in the blue one.
A
Right?
slug.
See?
Yeah, and the blue one. Do you notice that it's got little arms?
Yeah. Wait, what is this? In the orange one.
The orange one. What does it look like to you?
It's right next to the blue one.
To me, Emily, can you tell what you think this looks like? This orange one?
I think it kind of looks like a booger, I think.
It does kind of look like a booger. I think it kind of looks like germs.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, well, boogers and germs kind of go together, right?
Right.
What are all these creatures inside of?
Bottle.
Bottles. Are they all different, you think?
Yeah.
What else do you notice about them? Why do you think these creatures might be in these bottles?
Probably because someone's experimenting in it.
It could be. There could be experiments, like science experiments.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to test out the bugs.
They could be trying to test them out. It could be a collection, maybe, too.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever put fireflies in a jar?
I tried to do that.
What happened when you tried to do it?
Well, I think I caught one, but I accidentally let it go since I didn't have a thing to put it in.
Yeah, sometimes they can be hard to catch.
Then you should have got a bottle. Oh, look, it's a piece of art of the world.
Of the world?
It doesn't look like a piece of art.
What does this look like to you?
This one looks like a puffy cloud. That big piece looks like a cocoon where a butterfly is in.
Oh, cool. So yeah, it could be a cloud, it could be a cocoon. What do you think about the person in this piece of art? What do you think they're doing?
I think they're lying down.
What else? They're lying down. What do you think's happening in this? I think something's happening in this piece of art.
I don't know what's happening. But I think the girl's thinking about it since it looks like there's little things like this are speech bubbles. She's dreaming about it.
Yeah. So you think this girl in this piece of art is dreaming or thinking about what they're seeing in the bubble, right? Can you guys, what can you tell me about the colors that you see?
I see green.
Rainbow, green. What about the background?
White. I see polka dots.
And polka dots?
And they're all different colors.
Different color polka dots? What about these black circles? What's inside of those?
Germs.
They look like germs, don't they?
Yeah.
Do they remind you guys of anything you've seen before? They kind of remind me of that coronavirus.
Yeah.
You guys see that?
Yeah, on TV news, I saw things that looked like that.
Yeah. So this person's dreaming. They're seeing all these animals and colors and shapes and maybe some germs. Emily says she thinks it's in the winter. What makes you say that?
Because there's little winter things like snowflakes.
So you see snowflakes?
And I see orange.
You see orange?
I'm not orange.
You see the woman's wearing orange?
Yeah.
What else do we see? What else makes us think that this might be winter, like Emily said?
Because there's snowflakes. And the lady's wearing kind of winter clothes.
Winter clothes? I see one thing that they're wearing.
Oh, she's wearing a hat.
Yeah, like a winter hat. So,
But the only thing that can keep your hands warm is gloves.
yeah, why aren't they wearing gloves, huh?
I think it's a homeless person.
Could be a homeless person. What makes you say that?
Because I think it looks like a homeless person since it looks like she's cold and it's all wintry, so.
That's a good reason, yeah. Why would a person be outside if it's so cold if they had a house to go to, right?
It looks like she's down and sad and cold.
Looks like she's down and sad and cold. I think that too. Do you think this person looks sad?
Yeah.
You guys want to see another piece of art?
It kind of looks like she has blue lipstick on.
Blue lipstick. Why else might her lips be blue?
Because she's cold, I think.
Yeah, when you get really cold, your lips turn blue like blue lipstick.
Yeah.
So she might be really cold. And then she should have some gloves for her hands. Let's see what else we should do. I like this one.
Ooh, oh, it's a fork. And a door. And that's a dog.
The dog.
One of the techniques that I like working with is carving into the glass. That's actually not something that is historically typical of this medium. It's something I've really investigated myself. So I'm carving into one layer of glass to reveal another color that comes out. And that is physically demanding, but not in anything that going to a gym is going to help you with. The gym is here, and it is physically exhausting on your forearm to do that, and my fingers get tired. I fantasize about hand massages.
That book. Or that book.
And then I stack the glass. So if I have a sheet of red on clear, I might also have a piece that's cut to the exact same dimensions that's blue on clear. And I make a sandwich. And that way I have the potential for red, blue, clear, black paint. And there's a type of yellow that is known as silver stain. So I can get a full range of colors just by stacking red and blue together.
Are you an art lover age 5 to 15? Register now for summer camp at the Des Moines Art Center. Our themed classes are anything but ordinary. From animal party to teen zine, there is a creative outlet for all interests. Week-long summer art camps run from June 7th through August 13th. Register now as class sizes are extremely limited as we plan to continue social distancing safety measures. Learn more and register today at DesMoinesArtCenter.org.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jahan Hamilton, and I've been an art instructor at the Art Center for about 4 years now. I teach a variety of classes including painting, mixed media, calligraphy, and digital photography. Today, we'll be imitating an antiquated and delicate form of art, stained glass. You can use common items found throughout the house to recreate a wash painting that can be adhered to a window. Some of the objects you'll need are paper. Printer paper works well because of its translucency, although any type of thin paper will do. A writing utensil such as a Sharpie, marker, pen, or pencil, some standard school glue, watercolor paints, crayons or colored pencils, some paintbrushes, a cup of water, and paper towels or an old dirty dish rag for drying your brushes, a ruler, and a compass. Not every one of these materials are necessary, but most are recommended. Think about what you'd like to create for your design for your piece and put down some sketches in a sketchbook or loose sheets of paper. You can blend styles, use multiple figures, write names or words, and even create logos. Try layering your ideas on top of each other and see if you can come up with new or interesting compositions. Maybe try creating an abstract background with a realistic figure in the foreground. If you'd like to get a three-dimensional or raised effect, you can add a black or yellow gold pigment to the school glue. You can use a paintbrush to add this to your paper. This will be used to create the borders in between the pieces of glass for your mosaic for the whole stained glass piece. Only a few drops of concentrated watercolor pigment will be needed to be added to the glue. To do this, add a tiny amount of water to your watercolor paint and mix that well to a fully blended pigment. Then you can add a few drops to your glue and mix until it is all the color of your choosing. After creating the border for your piece, your paper might look something like this. You can create abstract, geometric, or realistic designs. I've chosen to do an abstract Art Deco pattern here. A good resource to use to find patterns for your liking is Pinterest. You also don't need to create something that looks like what most people think is stained glass. Here, I've used an ancient geometric pattern from the Islamic world and applied painting techniques used in this lesson to create a new form of stained glass. When you finish painting your entire piece, you can use more paper or heavier paper to create a frame, though this isn't required. You can adhere your piece to a window and show off your own work of stained glass. You can also try doing different scenes or patterns or multiple pieces of paper to fill up the entire window or create a larger work of art. Thank you for participating and have a nice day.
So where we are right now, we're in the galleries of the Des Moines Art Center. And we're looking for light. Light in different artworks, light around the building, and I'm not even sure what we're going to find. I've never done this before. Oh, see, this caught my attention right away. The circle shape in this is bright yellow, and that makes me think of light, and it's also rounded, kind of like the sun, or maybe if someone was shining a flashlight. I wonder what else I can find. Oh, this is something I hadn't thought of. What do you think this thing is? See, I can see the shininess in this sculpture. I can see the light reflected. It does remind me of light. What does it remind you of? Oh, wow. Look at this bright window. And the light's even spilling all over the floor. It almost looks like white, but you can tell that it's just the reflection. Oh, see, another bright color. We've got that orange in the middle, kind of like the yellow painting. Does that remind you of light? Let's head on up the stairs. Oh my goodness. This atrium is filled with light. Can you see the sun? The actual sun shining through that window? Can you see the sun flares on my camera? Those little bits of light? What a great light-filled space. I wonder what we can find upstairs. Oh wow. Do you notice that? I can see great shadows with the light. I'm glad it's a sunny day. I wonder what we can find up here. Oh my goodness. Can you tell what this piece of art is made out of? It's shiny, it's reflective, it's clear, and it's picking up so much light. Can you see all the little bits of light above it? Oh, see, this is our first painting of a figure. And it kind of looks like real life. Can you see where the light hits the figure? I can see a little bit on the floor. They use some yellow paint. You can see his knee has a little light and where it hits his face and his shirt. Oh, excuse us. Just walking through the galleries. Wow. I love this space. There's so many figurative paintings, and here is one of an old friend. This is Automat. Do you see light in this? Where do you see the light in this piece of art? I can see the light on her hat and those reflections in the window behind her. Oh wow. How about this Tanner painting? Where do you see the light in this? What colors do you see? Oh, that's neat. Can you see on the top? That is a reflection from the gallery light. When I move my camera, it moves around too. It might mean that also this is supposed to look like a reflection because those look really similar. Oh, look at this wonderful Sargent painting, and again you can see the reflections of the gallery light in the paint because it's kind of shiny. Where do you see the artist putting light in this? Can you see the light on her dress? Those bright white parts? And look at the way his pinky is almost lit up with that bright piece of rug behind him. And his fingernails are so bright they're shiny. You can see the shininess on their faces too, like the light is hitting them. All the sculptures have light because of the gallery lights hitting them. And this one is a wonderful example of that. See how the light hits it and lights it up, but then we notice that it also has a great shadow. Because I'm pretty sure that whenever there's light, there might be a shadow. Oh, like this. Can you see how this artist used bright light to highlight that doorknob? But do you also see the shadows in it? How does the light and the shadow make you feel in this piece of art? Do you wonder what's behind that door? Let's go through these doors. Look, light and shadow, just like in the painting. Oh, and there's our friends from the painting earlier reminding us to be safe when we're in the galleries, to wear a mask and keep a nice distance. Oh, here is a wonderful sculpture. We've got a dog and look, there is a light, an electric lamp inside. It's got little candle flickers. Why do you think the artist put lights in this? Oh, see the yellow again, like our first painting we saw, it feels bright. But if you notice those pyramids, the white is the light side, and then can you see the shadow side? The artist did a pretty cool effect there. And when we look in the windows, we can see a light side on the inside and a shadow side. This is a really cool piece. Mostly I just see black and dark, but I see these little bits of light, so we can kind of zoom in and get a nice close look. And what do you see? When we were drawn to the light in this piece of art, we can find letters. Maybe the letters are words or a secret message. This building has a lot of light coming in through the windows. The architecture is a pretty cool piece of art here. I've never really walked around looking for light like this, but I can see light in this painting. Can you? Oh my goodness, this one has wonderful light. Do you see the places that the light hits the curtain and the vase and the flowers? Can you see how bright that lemon is? And oh my goodness, that orange looks like it's glowing. So much light and also a shadow. Well, thank you guys so much for going through the galleries and looking for light with me. Next time you're in the museum or any place looking at art, you can look for light. I bet you'll find it in all kinds of places.
I start my process with some sort of a sketch. You know, I don't have the idea first. I work from the little drawings towards an idea that emerges as I'm working. I do have a large archive of imagery that I refer to, and I do try very hard to let these elements sort of join together naturally without me forcing them. So I generate tons and tons of material. I don't know how much stuff I have to make before I actually make a piece. The beached whale, I did an actual drawing, a pencil drawing of a beached whale, and then I did, I don't know, 250 Photoshop documents based on it that were all different. I'm looking for combinations of imagery where the figure is starting to be engaged in doing something ambiguous yet universal. So it has to have more than just a figure. It's about the interplay of the figure in the background.
The word light can also mean humor, something that's funny. A lot of art that we look at can be serious or powerful, but a lot of it can also be really funny. It can be silly or strange. It all depends on how you look at it. Let's look at some works in the show Human Nature, which was curated by the artist Judith Schaechter. She picked out the works that we're going to be looking at from the collection at the Des Moines Art Center. We're going to hear some funny and clever captions that people in the community submitted for these works that are on view. I'd love for you to look at the works and see how they inspire you. Do you have a fun caption that you could make for these works? Something funny or clever that you noticed that you'd love to share? We would love to hear what you have to say about this artwork, so feel free to submit your own captions to these works. Give it a try. The submission form is going to be in the description below of this video.
Here I sit all day thinking about how comfortable this chair is and how I wish I knew how to cook spaghetti.
Like my mani-pedi?
My glove!
More like the elegant in the room.
Wow, what do we have here? What do you see? Can you identify the parts of the sculpture? Introducing Dan Flavin's minimalist sculpture, Untitled for Ellen. We see lights, colored fluorescent tubes of ambient color. We see average everyday light fixtures from an average everyday hardware store. How do you suppose the artist made this sculpture? Why did he choose these materials? What's happening? Why is this sculpture installed in the corner? How is the light affecting the architecture of the room? How do the colors affect one another? How would you feel about the sculpture if it was just light and no colors? How would you feel if it was unplugged? Dan Flavin referred to his fluorescent light sculpture as situations. Can you see why? The multicolored light glows and blends to create new ambient color. This glow subtly affects the architecture of the corner, the room as a whole, and the wall space within the structure. The electricity, the fluorescent light, and the metal hardware itself create a modernist situation, and you're in the middle of it. Dan Flavin was an important minimalist artist, born in 1933, prominent in the 1960s, and died in 1996. Untitled for Ellen was completed in 1975. Think of a car from 1975, a pair of shoes from 1975, a haircut from 1975. Those styles are dated and filed away in time. Consider Dan Flavin's work before you. Energetic, vibrant, timeless.
Well, the minute I tried glass, I knew that this was the thing for me forever. It was literally a moment where it felt like the clouds parted and angels came out and announced that this was my future. It was so abrupt and sudden and blissful. And at that moment, I couldn't ever be stopped. So whenever I had a critique, I didn't care what they said because I was in love. It was partly because the material is beautiful and I wanted to look at it, but mainly I think it was because it was a technically oriented process. It involved a lot of hard work, which apparently, I didn't know it at the time. I think if you told me, I would have said like, oh, hard work? No, thank you. But I subconsciously craved it. When I switched majors from painting to glass, my teacher, I remember him saying, how can you possibly know? And now as a teacher, when my students say things like this, I think, how can you possibly know? All I can say is, I knew, and I definitely knew.
Art is a very special place where there are no wrong answers. We all see, think, feel, and interpret things different from one another. Why do you think that is? Just like with art, words mean different things to different people. I asked some staff at the Art Center, some artists, and my gallery friends from earlier. I asked them one question. What does looking for light mean to you? I'd love you to listen to their responses. And as you listen, do any of those resonate with you? Do you think some of them are true to you? And how would you answer this question? What does looking for light mean to you?
Looking for light. I take light as meaning joy. And so I think about looking for joy in like the small things and in the big things and in the everyday. So looking for light every day.
What I think of when I hear looking for light is immediately darkness, because there's no better way to see the light than from the dark. Whether it's the stars in the sky, whether it's the light of your radiance, of your own energetic, perfect little being, coming from darkness, coming from a place of not knowing your power, Then you see your power. That's light, lights up.
It kind of reminds me of family and how family brings light into me and my heart and how I feel about kids, grandkids. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
I think it means when you look at a painting, it looks like there's a story behind the painting. Or a sculpture. There's always a story behind the art.
When I hear the phrase looking for light, it makes me think of when you're in a bad situation trying to find positivity in it, or when you are dealing with something that's kind of ugly or dark or difficult, finding the beauty in that kind of thing.
When I think of the phrase looking for the light, I am reminded of our individual search for hope. I think we all have a desire to be illuminated, to be a beacon of hope and light for others, and to find inspiration in our imperfect world.
Light can be found almost everywhere, especially when you employ its multiple definitions. A celestial body, something that makes vision possible, a spiritual illumination, the taking of fire. These definitions can be shown artistically and displayed tangibly. When I think of light, or when I'm looking for light, I always think of it as a source that helps manifest a vision or helps an idea take fire. The light is not always an actual energy source, but rather something that sparks illumination. Looking for light is never easy, but the source is consistently elementary. Whether it be something as simple as a singular color or shape, a spark of illumination stems from that light and can transform itself into complex and composite creations.
And I think my interpretation of looking for light is looking for those little small moments when light is just perfect. It might hit on an object or a person just right so there's great shadows and just really captures a moment. Maybe there's a moment of stillness or a moment of just like reflection. So I really love the shadows and the way that the light hits. And in my bigger mosaic works, I think that's the moments that I like to do the best, where I can find those little subtle moments. It might just be a few seconds in real time, but I love to capture those.
What a beautiful question, and what a beautiful question at this point in time. Looking for light, what that means to me. I think it's more of an interior or a spiritual thing, looking for comfort, looking for happiness, looking for peace, looking for security, looking for home and a place to feel comfortable. So looking for light is that beacon of what we're all searching for, and hopefully what we will all search and help other people find as well. That's a part of the light, is sharing everyone's search for that comfort, for that peace, for that place of security, for that light.
Looking for light means like when the sun is out and it's bright, and when your room light is on, and your dad and mom's room is light on, and your sister's light is on. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Well, that's all we have today for our Looking for Light family program. It has been such a joy to share this time with you, to look at art, to explore so many amazing things, to notice how we all look, feel, and think differently about artwork and the world around us, and to realize how art is a wonderful place to share our experiences with one another. There are many more fascinating things at the Des Moines Art Center that you didn't even get a chance to see today. And the Art Center is the perfect place to explore, wonder, and really dig into our imaginations, and to connect to each other through art. I hope to see you here soon. Thank you guys so much, and have a beautiful day. Don't stop looking for light.